Hello, it's Jan from Perky Puffin Crochet here with a Never Lockdown crochet cushion project. Today I am going to show you how to make the corner to corner stitch. This is quite a versatile stitch, can be used for all sorts of things. You can make it as I've done here using different colours every couple of rows. However, one word of warning, the ends on this project are a nightmare. So you definitely need to get used to sewing in the ends as you go because it would be horrendous to leave them to the end. However, you can do it another way. Just let me move things around a bit. This is one side of a cushion, and for this one I've used variegated yarn for half of it. I was going to do the whole of the cushion using this and just make the edging with the plain colour. However, I realised that I wouldn't have enough of this to do both sides completely. So I decided to make it as a diagonal for half of the cushion and then use plain yarn for the other half. This stitch is made on the diagonal, so it really lends itself for this kind of design. And obviously using the variegated yarn and the single colour yarn, you don't have so many ends to sew in at the end, which in my book is quite good. I will show you these. The other one I showed you in this one are made out of Starcraft DK yarn, or actually no, that's wrong. This one's not made out of Starcraft. This is some yarn I was gifted by, and it's made by West Yorkshire Spinners. It is quite a rough texture, this one. So I think in future, when I'm doing projects like this, I will stick to the Stylecraft. It feels so much nicer. So they were made, as I said, using DK with a size 4 0 hook. I've done a different cushion. Again, I haven't joined the sides of this together yet, but this one is made using DK yarn but holding 2 strands together, so you can get this kind of blended effect that I've used here by doing so many rows with the plain yarn with 2 strands together using a 6.00 hook and then blending colours together, and it makes rather a nice effect. I have yet to join that one together though. So without further ado, I will show you how you create this stitch. It's quite an easy stitch to do, ideal for somebody who knows how to do trebles, because basically it just consists of chains, trebles and some slip stitches. So fairly simple. You start off I'll show you on this one while I've got it here. You start off just making one little block, and then the next row you create 2 blocks, next row 3, etc. So it lends itself to all sorts of colour combinations and colourways. Anyway, I'm now going to show you how to make this stitch. Hope you can see this quite well. You start off with just 6 chain. So a slip stitch on your hook and then make 6 chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just going to try and move. Oh, that's better. Sorry, I had my keyboard in the way. 6 chain, and then you're going to make a treble into the 4th chain from your hook. Bring a piece of wool out. So a treble in the 4th chain from your hook, and then you should have 2 chain left over. You make a treble into each of those. Okay, so you end up, I hope you can see that okay, you end up with a little block. Okay, and once you've done your first little block, you make 6 more chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. You again make a treble into the 4th chain from your hook. And then again in the next 2 chain. So you end up with something that looks like that. So let me bring my camera down a bit so hopefully you can see a bit better. I hope that's okay. Okay, and once you've made that one, all you simply do is take this first one that you made and you just flip it up. And then you're going to make a slip stitch in between your first chains that you made and the treble. So slip stitch into that block like that, join those two together. You then make 3 chain and you're going to make 3 treble into that same place. 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so you can see that was your first row with 1 block. This is your second row, you've got 2 blocks. Again, to start the 3rd block, just wind a bit of wool off so you can see what I'm doing. 6 chain again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, treble into the 4th chain from your hook. And treble in the next 2 chain. So it should look something like that. And again, like we did before, take the part that we've done, flip it up, and we're going to make a slip stitch in between the chain of your second block and the treble again to join this to this. Okay, make 3 chain and 3 treble into that same place. 1, 2, 3. And then to complete this row, you need to make 1 more block, slip stitch into this one to join these 2 together, 3 chain and 3 treble. Okay, so you can see it forms like a stair effect. So now we've got 3 blocks in our row. The next row we will have 4. So we're at the edge of the row, so you make your 6 chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, as we did before, a treble into the 4th chain from your hook. Flip up the work that you've done and make a slip stitch into the top of this block here to join these 2 bits together. 3 chain followed by 3 treble in the same place. Join it to your next block with a slip stitch, make 3 more chain and 3 more treble. Join it to your next block by slip stitching, 3 more chain and 3 treble into this block. And you can begin to see how it's building up. So this time you've got 4 blocks going up in stairs. So when you get to the edge, you need to make your 6 chain and make a treble into your 4th chain from your hook, and then we'll do one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, did I count that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Treble into the 4th chain from your hook. And then treble in the next 2 chain. That's your new block you've made. Flip up the work that you've done and slip stitch to join these 2 blocks together. Three chain, 3 treble. Slip stitch into the next block, 3 chain, followed by 3 treble. Slip stitch into the next block, 3 chain, followed by 3 treble. And then slip stitch into the last block of the row, 3 chain, and followed by 3 treble. Okay, so as you can see, we've now got 5 blocks. So every row you do, you're increasing it by 1 block. And basically you just carry on doing that until you've got the length that you want for the side. If I show you on this one, I'm now doing the other side of the cushion I showed you earlier, and I've got it to the length that I want. So you can see I've got quite a few blocks along my last row, and now I'm ready to start decreasing and doing the second half of the blanket. So when you get to that stage, I'll show you how to do that. Just got to get some more wool. If I can find the end, that would be good. Got it. Okay. So when you're decreasing, start down this end. Okay. So I've got all the length that I want across there. I don't want to increase anymore. So rather than join on and do the 6 chain at the beginning, I'm just going to join my yarn to this, sorry, can you see? Join my yarn into this space here. Make 3 chain and just do my 3 treble into that block. 1, 2 and 3. Sorry, the colours are very similar, so I hope you can see that. So I'm now making a straight edge up this side because I'm not increasing anymore on the ends of the row. I'm just making the block. And again, like you did before, just end of the yarn in the way, sorry about that. Slip stitch into your next block, 3 chain, and then make your 3 treble, etc. And when you get to the other end of the row, rather than going to this block, you make this block, you slip stitch it in there, and then you turn it around so you're not making any more on this edge. I will switch the camera off, make this row, and then I'll show you what I do at the end of the row. Okay, I've almost got to the end of my row. I've just got this little block to do. So I've done my 3 chain. I'm now going to make 3 treble into that space there. And you slip stitch it into that block, end block, to join those two together. But we're not going to continue on and make this block because, as I said, this side is now long enough, so we're actually decreasing now, so we don't go into that block and make our 6th chain because we're decreasing. So what you do here, having slip stitched into that space, turn your work over, make 3 chain and slip stitch into the end of this block. As you see, we're going to get a straight edge up this way now. Okay, you then make 3 chain. Sorry, move that out the way. 3 chain, 3 treble into this block. Okay, and then join these 2 blocks together and carry on as normal. 3 chain, 3 more treble, and you can see this edge here is also now starting to become straight. And you do exactly the same when you get to the other end of the row. You make a block here, sorry, but you don't go on and use these 2 blocks. You then turn it around and start coming back again. So you'll end up with a corner. Where's my other one gone? You'll end up, and you're decreasing, so you have 1 less block each row you do until you get down to just the 1 block. The other thing I don't know if you can see as a guide, if you're not quite sure what you're doing, if you can see with your blocks of trebles, you've got 1 block with the trebles going vertically, and then the next block underneath that they'll be going horizontal, the next block underneath that they'll be going vertically, so it's easy to see if you've made a mistake. The other thing that you can move on to do, it is a bit more complicated, but this is the kind of effect that you can get. If I can move it in, okay, and you can see. So you can make like a gingham effect, doing a square at a time. It is a bit more complicated. You have to make sure you join the right way round, so you have got your vertical and your horizontal blocks, and you don't end up with 2 verticals next to one another, but that can make a lovely effect. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's straightforward. If there's any problems, don't hesitate to get back to me. As I say, this is only my 2nd video, so I'm not that experienced at making them, but I hope you found it useful, and do let me know what you think. Bye bye for now.